Hello there. Welcome to a brief introduction to the IPFone call recording platform. The IPFone call recording platform can be accessed via any web browser by typing in the URL recordings.ipphone.com. Each one of your subscribed users will receive a unique username and password that they'll use to log into the system. Once you've logged in, you're going to be presented with your dashboard view. For tenant and group supervisors, these will be statistics for your entire organization. For standard users, they'll see only their personal call statistics. You can see we've got calls today, calls yesterday, the total amount of time recorded today, and the average recording duration. You're presented with call statistics for your last 30 days, as well as real-time active calls. Now let's go ahead and move up and take a look at our main recordings page. The recordings tab right here at the top. That brings us to our digest view. The recordings page is where you're going to access all of your stored audio. Individual users will see their own calls here. I'm a group supervisor right now, so I'm seeing all my organization's calls. You will notice I have the ability to sort by a date range. I can sort by a specific user, or I can search through my entire call log looking for a specific telephone number. You'll notice that we have the ability to turn auto refresh on or off. We can categorize calls if we like. We can download calls, and we can export calls to CSV as well. Let's go ahead and take a look at one of our call records. We're just going to click on the call to open it up. You can see the caller ID information is presented right here, the time and date of the call, the duration of the call as well. You can listen to the call in your browser, as well as save the call to your PC for direct archiving. If your organization does call evaluations, the evaluation questionnaires will be accessed right here. If you'd like to add a specific note for this call, you can do so. More details will allow you to play the call back at a higher speed, as well as see a little bit more detailed information and access the evaluations, notes, and see an audit trail for that call as well. Returning now to our main recordings page, you'll notice that we have some calls in progress right here. I'm going to go ahead and click on one of those calls. You'll notice that the difference is we don't have an audio playback here. We don't have the ability to download the call because obviously the call is still ongoing. We do, however, have the ability to live monitor that call simply by clicking on that button. The audio will then play in your browser. The last thing I'd like to point out on this page is the call interaction numbers. You can see these over here. If a call comes into your organization and that call is transferred between your users, every user that has call recording will be listed as part of that transaction chain. So you can see 1 of 2, 2 of 2. Obviously, if there's more, there'll be 3 of 3, 4 of 4, however many you may have. You'll notice when I open up the call record there, I can see all the interactions, and I can go to the other interaction by clicking the View button, and again, that brings me to the more detailed page for that call. While we're here, I'd like to point out that calls can be marked as confidential by either the individual user or a group tenant supervisor. Now let's go ahead and return to our recordings page and take a look at some of the other ways we can filter through our calls. As you can see, we have our active calls, which will display only the active calls on the system. Of course, you can filter that by users. You also have your own My Calls tab, which will show only your own calls. You can, of course, search by user as well. You can search by client. And you can search by category. You can do advanced searches as well, where you can combine multiple parameters such as time, date, users, call direction, etc. to run a search and find specific calls. You can, of course, save your search so that you can come back and rerun that search at any time if that's something that you require. As mentioned earlier, you are able to listen back and evaluate your agents and their interactions with your callers. You can view those reports under the Reports section. You can see we've got the evaluation reports over here. We're able to view that report just like that. To design your evaluations, you're going to go to the Customization and the Evaluation Form Designer. Here you can see we've already got one created. I'm going to go ahead and edit that. We'll view the sections. Here I can see the questions that we've added to this. We can add additional questions if we like. Edit the existing questions. They can be multiple choice or have numeric values. You can add point scoring, and you can allow the question to be marked not applicable as well. Thank you very much for your time. This has been a small look at the IPFone call recording platform. If you would like more information, I do encourage you to please reach out to your salesperson or the IPFone support team.